The first set that they had two breaks without any points on the serve.
Yeah, I think the match I was not swinging freely actually. I was a bit tight, I would say. I was a bit nervous in the beginning. I mean, every match you can feel that, but I didn't handle it good enough in the beginning. So that hurt me in the beginning because if I came out swinging like second set, I was playing my game and I was hurting her a lot before. So if I did that from the first point, I think that would have been a completely different match. Because then she feels the pressure and then the momentum can switch and then would have, gone. So I think that hurt me a little bit. But yeah, sorry, go ahead. But the condition was a changing because when we started, there was still a little more sun. Then once it becomes heavier, same. The balls were anyway getting heavy, like 2, 3 games, and they flop up, and you have to grind it out. And so it was the same since the beginning. How have you seen your past 1 year? I mean, last Mumbai Open was special for you, obviously, and then you been there. So, how have you past 12 months been, and how have you seen your development in this? First 12 months, first part of the 12 months, I mean, the first 6 months was very up and down. I was struggling to find a coach. I was, mainly on my own and trying to just figure it out on my own on court. And it was a bit tough. Like I had results on and off. Like I was doing well, then I was struggling mentally. Then yeah, I was on and off. Then later I was struggling with the niggles, like my shoulder. But I mean, regardless of all that, I thought I was pretty decent. Like I held my ranking. I had my career high to 280 during all that, going on. So I mean, I'm grateful for all that. But I think this year that I started off really well. Like I felt like I found my game. This, I mean, even this tournament, like this match too, I thought I played really well. Like compared to what was going on 6 months back, these last few tournaments have been really good. So yeah, it's good for my confidence to build on these matches and work on. So I found a good coach team that I've been working on for the past 3 weeks since Bangalore. And yeah, now I feel like I have a really good team around me that I can trust and believe. So I'm hoping for really good things to come. So what's that team? Who is your coach now and where's your So I met this coach called Pau Martin. He's from Barcelona. So I met him in Bangalore. So I went to Bangalore a week before to train, get used to the courts. And that week I saw him and then I asked him if he can try him out. I mean, try each other out. And then I liked him and then we started working. Bangalore, I made quarters. I had really good wins. Yeah, I told him, I want to try for other tournaments too. Let's see how it goes. And it's been 3 weeks and I'm really happy with him. My fitness coach has been there like for past 3 years. So he's been like the most constant one, only constant one in my team, to be honest. So yeah, with him and my new coach, and then he's also works with me on the mental side also. So yeah, everything feels like coming together. So yeah, now it's more stable. So you're playing for tournaments? The fitness trainer? Yeah. He hasn't done it until now. He's based in Bangalore. He came for the Bangalore tournament. He was able to. But I mean, I'm sure he can, but I just have to afford him, able to pay him. So as of now, I can only pay for my coach a little bit. So that's the priority now. But later on, we'll see.
People just traveled with you.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So other than travels alone? Yeah, every time I'm always traveling alone. Except in India, my mom comes when I'm in India, and now she's coaching. But I'm always traveling alone. Find that tough. It's very tough. Very tough. I mean, it's like it's such a lonely sport, right? It's like you're all alone by yourself, and especially now the coaching rule is allowed that you're playing not just against the player, but with the whole team of the player, and they're right there helping, and then you're by yourself figuring it out. So I feel like that adds a lot more pressure on the player to. It's just yeah. when you know that okay, you have someone, even if you know that okay, even if you're down, you know that okay, someone's there helping you out. I feel like that takes a lot of pressure off of you, and you can freely do things. Like my mom too, of course. Like I know she takes care of my food and everything, so I don't have to worry about so much. Just focus on what I'm doing, trying to. So yeah, that was a bit challenging. It's still a challenge, but trying to figure out financial, stability who can provide so we can have a team always. Yeah, between.
Uh, you were training at PBI, right? Yeah, last year. And
Last year I was 22 and 23. I was at PBI.
okay, okay. So you're still based out of Bangalore in
No,
training?
I'm not. I moved to US last year. So my parents moved to Albany
Okay.
mid last year. So that's why started going there a lot more. That I was trying to find a base there. That's why it was a bit challenging. And I found Harsh Mankar
Yes,
like
yes.
late last year, and I worked with him for 3 months, and yeah, it was good for me. I mean, good knowledge, good experience, but it didn't work out, and
Mm.
then I started looking for another.
So this entire process of not having a coach, then finding one, then trying them out, and then not having a coach again. Then how just challenging is that while you're trying to improve and obviously earn the ranking points? And
Stuff, but I think I'm kind of a person, I mean, who has done it for so long. Since I was a kid, I didn't have an academy, I didn't have a proper setup. I was always trying to figure it out, everything. So I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of used to it. Like, okay, it is what it is. But then I can't complain because I have no choice, right? So I'm like, okay, I just figure it out. If it comes, it comes. If I find a person, I find them. One point, I'll find them, right? So I just go with that mindset and then see what happens. And then people always came at the right time and right moment, right people always came for me. So I'm grateful.
working with Power in the last 3 weeks, what were the first few things that you wanted to do? The changes that you brought immediately versus long term changes that you're looking at?
I had a big game. Like that was like he knew that okay, this I had the weapon, like my forehand's a weapon. I'm really like, aggressive baseliner. He saw that and he wanted to enhance it immediately. It's like, okay, I'm hitting, but I'm staying back. So he was like, okay, you're hitting, but then you need to work upon it, like move ahead, go to the net, be brave. And he started pushing me to do that. And serve too, he felt that my serve percentage was very low. And we started working on that. But today in the match, it was a bit of a challenge also because it's still a habit for me. I've been doing one thing
Yeah.
that he just came like 3 weeks ago and it won't go away immediately.
Yeah.
We were just having that conversation like hey, it's a habit, it's gonna come, especially in the pressure moments. So he wanted to like change to different things and see that can help me even in matches, like immediate change. So yeah, all these things. And I started like, I'm a fast learner. So whenever he told me things, I started doing it immediately and results came, but then I lost, but then it was always a learning. Like every match, I felt like this past 3 weeks, every match I lost, I got better the next week. So yeah, there's always another opportunity. So
Sahaja, you've played with a lot of higher rank players now in the last few months. For you, like, what do you think you need to work on to get to the next level? Like, which is probably Grand Slam qualifying for you. What do you think you need to work on consistently to improve to get to that next level?
I mean, I'm close with all these players. Like be honest, I mean, if I play my game, I have to beat these players. Like, but I know I can do that. Like I've had moments in the match where I'm like killing them. So it's just that here and there I have to tidy up a little bit. Like, okay, I need to know. Okay, I'm 40, 50 up. I gotta make the player play, not go for too much. Like little bit of small things, small tweaks, like get the higher percentage on serve. Then you make the serve, you put pressure on the opponent to make the return. Then I'm stepping in, I'm hitting the +1. So I feel like these small things can make a big difference. So yeah, we keep working on it. We have been working on it and it's been paying dividends. So it's just a little bit more every day and then we will get there. It's all a process, man. Yeah.
Also, Just one. You spoke about it was a bit tight when the match started. The pressure of defending your ranking points from last year, did that play on your mind at all?
Reflect on it actually, why it happened. Maybe it's just playing in that stadium again, and I don't know. I have to really reflect on it, why it happened to control it because it's going to happen again, again, and again. So I have to know how to come around it and deal that pressure better. Yeah, I think it's a lot easier for me if I'm there in US. Play tournaments because every week they have some kind of tournament at higher level. I think that's what helped me last year to also play, win 2 rounds, and then I like get like decent points and then I keep my ranking. So that was helpful actually. Them moving there and then me based on. But I think now I have to really like see because this coach is based in Europe, in Barcelona, and I've never been to Europe like until now. So they're trying to make a base in Europe and see how that goes. I think that will be even more helpful for me. They're making a base there and yeah, hoping to play. Like the competition is going to be high there too, similar to US. So I play them, I start beating them, then I beat you. Uh, see, you just spoke about how even before, like when you were playing in juniors, you were doing everything by yourself. So we just talk a little about that time, how you came to all this. Yeah, I had a tough childhood tennis. I should say. I mean, I come from a very low middle class family. I was 10 and my dad just wanted me to play, tennis for fitness reasons. We didn't have any money. Like I was buying second-hand racket and paying 1,000 rupees a month. This is 2010. And like guys, 2010 and we didn't have 5,000 to pay for coach and I was paying 1,000 rupees a month. Learning just from me, we just able to play. It's a government stadium. No coach, there's some ground that was a coach and he would just feed us balls every day. That was the only thing. And I would learn from YouTube. That was the only thing I used to do. And watch YouTube. Okay, this is how I need to hit a forehand, a backhand, a serve. And then my dad would teach me. He was a teacher, so he loves to teach. And one day without him seeing, like I started looking at videos and then I saw that, okay, forehand grip, I saw grips. And I picked up the serve grip, continental grip, and I started hitting forehands with the continental grip. Next day in practice. And I was like, why is everything flying out? I was 11. I was 11. And then I'm like, okay, let me reverse this and see if I can hit the ball in. And I said, you cannot hit it out like this. So I started hitting everything in and I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with this. But I also did notice for some reason, 4 years passed. I was like playing like that, learning with YouTube, going to a coach and trying to like talk to them and see if they can give me for less money and figure it out. Like 4 years passed, I was 14. I finished my 10th. Still no juniors, no ranking, nothing. Like I can probably barely played. Didn't play any of the domestic circuit. No, I barely played any. Like I didn't have even money to travel. Like besides Hyderabad, I would only in the state. Like I would in the city, I would go on our scooty. We would go like 50 kilometers up and down. Then my dad really like worked so hard for me to just play in the sport. And for some reason, like everyone was like coming in, it's like they have coaches, they are like full on setup, like professional. But we never felt like I could never make it. I don't know, it's like maybe that's what helped me get here. But I was like, okay, my dad saw that I'm a fast learner. I work hard, so that's what we believed in. And eventually we believed that it's gonna come. So even after 10th, like I didn't have any ranking. My dad asked me, this is what you want to do. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's all. And then I went to an academy in Secunderabad called Sinet. That's when I had a proper coach. Even there, I was going in bus every day, 5 a.m. from Dilshuk Nagar to Secunderabad. That takes an hour. So 5 a.m. My mom would pack me. My mom would wake up at 4, pack me breakfast and lunch, get me on the bus, and then I would go to the academy by myself and come back in the afternoon. I did that for 2 years. When I first went, I remember to see the academy. The coach was like, no chance she's gonna come. Like, she might come 1 week, but more than 1 week coming in bus up and down, it's hectic. And my dad was like, "Oh, she will come, sir. Please take sir." And then we asked for like less coaching fee, and he was very nice. He was like, "Sir, you pay how much ever you can." Like, and then there was another person called Prahlad Kumar Jain. He's still like a god to us because I met him in that academy. He was giving free coaching for me at 6 a.m. every day. We would work one on one, 6 to 8. He would just feed me forehand, backhand. I was still learning basics at 14, and he's still like he helps me now financially. He bought me rackets at that time, and those 2 years, I mean, kind of helped me to get to a little bit better ranking. I was playing women's, and then my family would help me with money. The rest of the family. So my dad also had struggled with moving jobs and all that. It was a bit. It was very. So, I mean, I was like, in the summer, Hyderabad is like 50 degrees. It can go to 50 degrees. And we would play tournaments, right? We don't have AC. We didn't have AC in the house. I was like sweat whole day, whole night in the night, and mosquito was like, this is so at that time, mosquitoes flying. And then my dad would be like, if you get used to this, tomorrow you can play in the hot sun. That's how he used to convince me to be okay with whatever we have. And then I would just play like that. 2 years passed, and in those years, I got the college tennis opportunity. That changed my life. I went there, completely transformed my tennis game. Those coaches helped me a lot. I was a completely different person too. First time I took a flight was to US at 16 to go to college. Like I was very scared. Like so young. I never had any experience. Yeah, I can't afford another ticket, right? That's my ticket. Someone else gave me the money. So it was all help of friends, help of that coach that I was talking about. But people always helped in the right moment for somehow. We just believed, okay, we keep doing our thing, people are always gonna come help you. Some help God's gonna send. Like that's what we believe. It's like I went to US and then I had no idea what pasta was, what bread was at that time. So I always ate at home. I was struggling, like for 1 year, I was struggling to eat their food. There's no plan for me. I couldn't do anything. I was gaining weight because I would only eat sweets. And yeah, I went through a lot of challenges even in college. But game wise, I mean, the coaches really helped. They're like my second family. I still go to them and they're always welcoming me. But yeah, those 4 years, then I come back and then I'm like, thought I would come this far because from the condition I was in, people never thought I would make it. People were telling me, oh, I forgot. I changed my forehand grip. I told you about that. I changed my forehand grip when I was 15. I had 3 months to learn and get to tournaments and get the ranking and go to college tennis. But people told me, this is like, you'll never make it. I'm 15. Why are you playing 15? Yeah. Like that's not the way. And I was 15 and I could not get a ranking in ITA women. And, but I was like, no, I've learned, I will do this. And yeah, my dad writes everything in those classes. I mean, could make autobiography.
Or a movie.
A movie, yeah, my dad always believes that.
Just curious, you said that you didn't think that maybe you'd get this far. So what's the dream now?
I mean, I just gonna keep going. Have the same thinking that I had when I was 10 is I will keep working hard and results will come and not chase the results or not like get over attached to the outcomes. That's what I was doing and I was getting everything I wanted. So I feel like I still should keep the same belief. It's hard, but keep the same belief and keep working hard and trust the process and see eventually it will come.
And like you mentioned about college tennis, like how did that come about? Like, were you guided to go to college? Like, how did that choice come up or option come up for you?
That time, I mean, we were struggling financially to even go to tournaments. So we were thinking, like, what's the next step? What to do? How do I go to play? How do I play professionally? And someone told us, like, other people went and they told us, SSU, you get 100% scholarship, you go to college, you get a degree, and then, see what happens. And then there was a person called Ashwin Vijay. He played for Davis Cup also at the time. He was doing the process with us. And I was one of his first athletes, actually. He also helped us and with money, and he was also very nice. So you know, and he got me the college. So the coach at that college was his former coach when he went to college. So he just spoke, just gave his word because the coach didn't have anything to trust because I didn't have any ranking, I didn't have any idea of juniors, and the coach had nothing to base, that she can come and help us. He just took his word and he took me and he thought I would play like six in the lineup, like just be there. Yeah. And then I went and I beat their number one just out of nowhere. And then he was like fully impressed. And then I started playing three from the first year. And then I started playing one the next 3 years. But yeah, that was how I went.
So also like you mentioned, 17, 18.
I did have that feeling before, like everyone I see is so young, they're playing, but I mean, what can we do? We can't change the past, right? I didn't have the resources, so I couldn't have done anything better. We can't say that if I had the resources, I would have come this far. We can't say that because if you have everything, then you might stop working hard to, So I don't know. The situations at that time helped me to become a person, to become a player this way. So I'm happy for things that happened and grateful for that. I mean, if they're doing so well and you're good for them, they have everything around them and they're still working hard. And yeah, I'm happy for them. But yeah, it didn't turn out that way for me.
And it also helps of loss because we've experienced a really hardships. I've been through the most.
No, yeah, it's very tough because then you might get into the thinking, I've done this much, I've gone through this much, but I'm still not winning, kind of a thing. Can come at moments, but then you have to tell yourself, like, hey, you're playing at this big stage, wins and losses come. Just gotta keep going because, and be grateful for you to be here. There's so many players who want to be in this position and you're here. So, that mindset will help you get over it.
Let's talk about the first year after college years, where you had that entire setup. You had a coach, physio, entire support staff looking after that. Start traveling. Not on your own.
Yeah, that was a bit tough because in college we had everything what we wanted. Like, hey coach, we need grips. Hey coach, we need strength. And everything was coming to us. But then when I get to pro tour, it's like, oh my god, I need to buy another sort of strength. My god, I don't have money to buy it. Yeah. So it was tough. I mean, I came out of college and then I was trying to play tournaments, but I was losing everything in qualities. So I decided I'll come back to India. I want to start where I started playing tennis, see if that will help me with my dad. So I came back 22 Jan. I came back to India and then I told my dad, like, coach me, we'll figure it out. Eventually someone will come, but for now you coach me. There were 4 tournaments in India at that time. There was 15 Ks back to back. So I came to India to play that. So I took help of my dad and then we started playing. First round, first week. First round, second week. First round, third week. Fourth week comes. I'm like, oh my god, like I gotta do something. I cannot be losing first weeks. Like, okay, no one's gonna come sponsor me, right? Then fourth week, I don't know what happened. I'm like a completely different person. I beat all the title winners of the first 3 weeks in the same tournament, and I go on to win the title. And that was like mind blowing for me. But everyone told me it's a fluke. Everyone was telling me it's a fluke. Like, who is this girl coming out of nowhere? It's a fluke. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I went to training. Then I came back to play 225 Ks. I didn't play anything. 225 Ks in big rounds. First 25K, I drew Karman for Tandi in the first round. So I mean, I grew up watching Karman and like seeing how she was doing in the big stage. So it was like, I mean, I was playing freely, and then I lose a close 3-setter. That hurt me really bad. But then I was like sitting the whole week and watching Karman play, and she wins the title. I was like, if I won that match, maybe I would have won the title, right? I wanted that title so badly. And then I was just imagining myself there in place of her. Next week comes, I draw Kerman again. I drew Kerman again in the first round. I beat her and then I win the title. But that was just like, I realized at that time, like, how you powerful your mind can be, right? How much you can manifest what your life can turn out to be. But that happened, then I was in the picture. Then people were like, okay, this girl can do something. After the 15K, it was all so much mental for me. But then it was all new for me, right? I win this title, then I'm like 500. And I never had this success before in my life. And I was having so much pressure. Oh my God, like I need to prove myself every week. And it was very tough. And I was struggling a lot after that title. Then I came back, like, and it's like up and down. I didn't have the experience. That was the experience I was having. So the first year went that way. I finished off in 400. Then, but I was always learning, right? I was always trying to be better. I was also getting older. So that helped me. I was mature enough. And then, yeah, I was able to bounce back from those things, get better again and again. Yeah, but every week there was always something teaching me, okay, this went wrong. Next week you gotta do this. Then something goes wrong there. Next week you gotta do this. But yeah, this journey I've never imagined I could do this much. I've done 3 years in a row. This is my fourth year. I'm really happy that I came this far, and I wanna see how much potential I have and how far I can go. I don't care. I mean, others have their own journeys, and I want to see how much I in me. Yeah, if I came from that background and this far and can go even further, then I would say anyone can do this. It's not a matter of money or anything. It's just a matter of mind and how much you get.
Yes. Thank